Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Record Shelf. I'm John. This is Rock My Bean, and we are in the middle of the seminal album for the band Rush called 2112. One of the big surprises of the 1970s from a band, Rush, that at the time was really kind of going nowhere fast in their career. They had put out the album Caress of Steel, which, while it has some that like it, just did not do what neither the band nor the record company wanted it to do. And so the band was basically watching their career go down in flames. They got together, they got one more chance by the studio, and they put together this album. And it turned out to be a game changer. It basically created a career for Rush that spanned decades. And we have gone through the first three songs. We are now going to cover the last three songs on the side A of this record. We're not going to do side B. There are great songs on that album, but we want to cover the progressive theme of the first side of this album, which is what really the whole point of this show really is, to do album-oriented rock. And while there are good songs, it's this side of the record, it's this side A, that changed the whole story for this band. And so that's what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to move on to other things. But we will be doing more Rush, believe me. We're just getting started with this band. This is a band that did so many great albums that I'm going to be covering the ones that I think were the best and the most influential, both to me and to others. So we are not going to be done with Rush by any means. This is just the beginning. But no, we're going to listen to, this is a story, as I've said, in part one. If you haven't watched it, please go watch part one. It's a story that Neil Peart, the drummer, who is also by now their official lyricist, he wrote a work of fiction based on an Ayn Rand book called Anthem. And he put it he took the idea of Anthem and he put it into a science fiction theme. And so we have a science fiction story going on here involving the discovery in a far future world where computers run everything, where music doesn't exist, where free thought doesn't exist, where people are controlled by their emotions and what they do and what they can say. And this individual finds a guitar in a cave, and he takes it to the priests who run the computers. They're the technocrats that run the society. And he says, we got to have this. This is amazing stuff. And they say, no. They take the guitar, they smash it, and he ends up leaving and totally distraught and suicidal, and he just doesn't want to live anymore. He can't live in a world where there's not going to be allowed any music. That's where we pick up the story. So we're going to pick up with we covered the overture, then we covered the temples of Syrinx and the discovery and presentation. And now we're going to have Oracle the Dream and Soliloquy, and then the grand finale. And that will end this side A, this amazing little story that was packed on this side of the record that just changed the career for Rush and sent them going for decades until just a matter of maybe 6-7 years ago, they retired completely due to the fact that Neil Peart had been diagnosed with brain cancer and then died not too long after that. So that's where we are with 2112. We're going to pick up now with after the presentation and the priest saying, nope, no music. We're going to carry it on from there. So here we go with 2112 and the song Oracle the Dream.
I wandered home through silent streets and fell into a fitful sleep. Escaped to realms beyond the night. Dream, can't you show me light?
Okay, so here's the story. The presentation happened. The guitar was destroyed. This individual, he walks back home. He's distraught, and he goes to sleep. And in his sleep, he receives a dream, a vision of the history of what the elder race. And the elder race apparently were people who left the planets of the of this empire, whatever it is, controlled by the computers, to escape it. And now they're planning on coming back to take back the worlds that they came from. But these are people who allowed music and scientific inquiry and all the things that we take for granted in our society, they excelled at. And he gets this dream or this message in his mind in his sleep. And now he's like, wow, they're going to be coming back. They're coming back. And we know that there's this great society out there, but I live in this prison, essentially, and how am I going to escape it? So now we're going to carry on. Now, that was a really interesting little song there. These are short songs, but they just carry the story along. It started out very mellow with the guitar, acoustic guitar playing, a lot of reverb going on, and then they come up with a bump, 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 the sort of pompous, powerful music that talks about the great thinkers and the people that left long ago and went to other planets to escape this computer world that he still lives on. So now we're going to move to the next song, which is Soliloquy. And here
The sleep is still in my eyes, the dream is still in my head. I heave a sigh and sadly smile and lie a while in bed. I wish that it might come to pass, not fade like all my dreams. Just think of what my life might be in a world like I have seen. I don't think I can carry on this cold and empty life.
Okay, so there we have the soliloquy, which is he had this dream about this elder race that went off and created a new civilization where they had freedom and music and all these things. But he lives in this imprisoned world, the world of computers, which controls everything. And he's just so distraught by his situation and that he can't live in that world, so he kills himself. And we hear that at the end his lifeblood pours out. And unfortunately, he does it a little too soon, because in the next chapter, which is the last, the elder race returns and takes back the planets for the human race once again from the computers and their priests. That's the story. I want to comment on the music here. I mean, I'm a drummer, so I am always amazed at Neil Peart's playing. When I first heard this, I was like, I didn't know anybody could play like this. So Neil Peart is just filling that that music with his percussion, his drumming, which is so dynamic and so exciting. And he combines it with hitting just the right drums at the right time and getting those fills in, those bum 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 bum. Complements Geddy Lee's bass, which is always doing something. Geddy Lee just sits there and he doesn't just, sit there and tap on the strings. He's playing it like a guitar. And then you've got Alex Lifeson just doing these incredible little guitar solos and these riffs in there. They're just full of emotion, full of feeling, really carry the whole feeling of this song away. These guys are a powerhouse. And you can tell when you hear this album, an absolute powerhouse, and it's an amazing work of art. And here's the thing. This was a major risk for these guys because they had done Caress of Steel. And on one part of Caress of Steel, there was a short story they had done, and it bombed. It totally bombed. What did they do? Did they say, okay, we're not going to do that anymore, we're just going to put out great singles? No. They went and said, darn it, we're going to do how we want to do it, and we're going to do another one. So Neil wrote this whole story out. They put another one together, and that they did. It wasn't just a part of a first side. It was the whole first side. They were just thumbing their nose at the music industry and saying, we're going to do it if we're going to go out, if we're going to be over, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it our way. They took a huge gamble, a huge risk, but it paid out in spades. And this has always been a highly rated album for Rush. I know it was the beginning of their career that just kept going up, 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 up after this album. So here we are now, the very end of the story. And it is called Grand Finale. And this is when the Elder Race returns, takes back the planets of the Solar Federation, and restores humanity to freedom and all the things and benefits that come with it. So here we go with Grand Finale. Grand Finale. Man, that was good. Oh my gosh, I forgot how good that was. It's been so long. I just love that. As a drummer, I was blown away by this stuff. And I'm like, I gotta play this. I remember going down to my drum set and trying to play this. And it took me a long time to finally get it. But did you notice that there was that time signature change after the first initial part? And it switched a completely different time signature. Rush was just good at doing that. And their transitions were so seamless, so good, and they just get better and better as you listen to more of their music. I can't think of any clunky transitions between choruses and verses and choruses and bridges, and then the time signature changes. They can go not only from a verse to a chorus or a bridge, but they also seamlessly, but they can also do the time signature change seamlessly, which is incredible. I mean, and they don't get it wrong. They get it right almost all the time. That's a very, very big order, a tall order for a band to do. And these guys, and you can hear it right here in this song, they did it. They did it seamlessly. And as you listen to more of their albums, you're going to hear it more and more and more. And they're just so good at it. It's so good. And Neil Peart is able to just do the right thing at the right time. His drumming is so incredible. I mean, Neil Peart has been the top favorite drummer for so long. It's almost like you get tired of hearing it. But when you hear this, you realize there's a good reason why he's got it. And he just got better and better and better after this. And Geddy Lee is playing a boom, 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 boom. I mean, these guys played at a level where many of us just wished we could, okay? And they did it consistently, record after record, song after song, tour after tour for decades. And they never let up. And they were, I mean, when these guys were in their late 60s, they were playing like they were still in their 20s. It was amazing. Amazing. And this is when they were still in their 20s. And there's kind of a joke out there that, these real hotshot drummers, when they're in their 20s and doing this stuff, they think that, hey, I could do this the rest of my life. Then you get to be in your 60s and it ain't so easy. Your hands don't move as well and you're getting arthritis or whatever. And you can't play anymore. Now they got to hire some young hotshot to come in and play your part on the tour because you're too old to play your own drum part. Well, Neil Peart never did. He played his own drum part so perfectly every tour, even into his 60s. It was astonishing. And I just got to give these guys so much credit. Just an amazing song. The whole thing is incredible from start to finish. It's not a long set of songs. I mean, these were maybe just over 2 minutes long, each one of these. But they took a huge gamble, and it paid off. There's an old saying, fortune favors the bold. Well, these guys did. And after 2112, they were given more money and went on more tours and put out more albums. And I hate to even say we can't do all of Rush's albums. I would love to do just have a show doing Rush's discography. Just doing Rush albums. To me would be just an amazing thing because I don't think there's any real bad albums at all in any of their catalog. Some I like more than others. Some I think are done better than others. Some were engineered better than others. But I can't think of any bad albums or even bad songs. And so that would be a show all by itself. But anyway, I had to do 2112 for you because it was a critical album in my career as a drummer and musician and in the career of the band. And so we've completed this show about 2112. I recommend you get the record, put it on a record player, and play that whole second side. There's some good songs on that second side, some good music, but it just didn't have the impact that side one did. That was the game changer for the band of Rush, and game changer for me as a drummer. I was playing with people like John Bonham, who, believe me, no slouch. He is one of the top drummers of all time. And other like Ginger Baker and Phil Collins and Ansley Dunbar. I was really getting into drummers like that, Bill Ward. But when I heard Neil Peart, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to ratchet it up a bit. I can do more. There's more I can do. I got to learn to play this stuff. So I took a cassette player and put it in a boom box and put my headphones on, and that's how I would do it. We didn't have YouTube. I couldn't get on and have somebody show me, here's how Neil Peart played that part. Didn't exist. There weren't any films or videos of them playing. There was nothing of Neil Peart playing. I had to just listen to it and try to figure out, what is this guy doing? I had to figure out what equipment he had. And then, okay, he's got two bass drums. I can't do what he did there. I'll have to find another way of making it sound like that. And I don't have, 12 toms across my drum set. I only have 4, or 6. So how am I going to repeat his drum part in my life when I try to do it? I found a way, and it took me a few years, but it changed everything for me. It just set me on a whole new course. Rush changed my life as far as music goes. These guys were a game changer, not only for them, not only for the music industry, but for me personally. And I love it when I can go over these albums that changed my life and meant so much to me, more than just being a good album, but had an impact, a really visceral impact on my life and my drumming and my music career. Well, that's all we have for this record, folks. I hope you've liked 2112. And from the record shelf here, we're going through the greatest rock albums of the 1970s and 80s. And I put out 2 polls. The first was, what record are we going to do next? Because we're doing 2112. We've done Dark Side of the Moon. And we have to move on. So the poll we put out, and it looks like Deep Purple's Machine Head has won the poll. So we're going to be doing Deep Purple's Machine Head next. And then the other poll I put out for the second record we're going to do. And it looks like at this point, Black Sabbath's Paranoid album is going to be the one that we're going to be doing. So it looks like we're going to be moving to the Paranoid album and Machine Head album. And those are good. They're great albums and groundbreaking albums. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with those too. But thank you for joining me. I hope you like this show and you like what we're doing. And if you do, please like and subscribe. Please subscribe. And I'm always open to comments. Whatever you guys think I need to do better or leave out or whatever, please, by all means, let me know, because I want this show to be successful. Share it with friends. Click that subscription notification bell so that you get notified when I do videos, because I'm doing them like every other day now. So please let me know if you like what we're doing. Leave comments. I love comments. I respond to everybody's comments. So what more can I say? But I'm so glad that you joined me for this. And as always, I'll see you again next time.